Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a fun, different type of video than what I usually do. I'm going to be styling p1harmony as if they were having their solo debuts. Now, what are my credentials for this? Thank you so much for asking. Thank you, that is all. I became a piece in August of 2021. The rest is history. I've seen them every year since. They're the K-pop group that I most closely relate to just because of age and everything, and their sense of style. They're also fashionable. It's crazy. Name 6 boys that are fashionable. You can't, but they are. I can name them. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's start with Keeho. My outfit is a little hint of the theme that I'm going for Keeho. Keeho's album is, of course, very R&B and pop inspired. The sky is blue. This was very much a given. He is such an R&B boy. His voice is so well suited for R&B and pop. For our title track, we have Live For Me by Omar Apollo. Next up, Eternal Sunshine by Ariana Grande, of course. Casper by Eli. I don't know if a lot of people know Eli as an artist, and I think that this song is very well suited to Keeho's voice. Next, we have Dirty Dancer by Orion Sun. Lastly, we have Beauty and Essex by Unknown Mortal Orchestra and Daniel Caesar. And then additional inspirations that did not make it in the track list are SZA and Neo. So next up for the concept, walk with me. You gotta walk with me. I need you to hold my hand. I need you to hold my hand, okay? The name that I'm giving Keeho's album concept is Office Siren, but literal. As we all know, the Office Siren aesthetic is very much business attire, very much the rectangular glasses. So I wanted to take that because I think that's a style that he looks very good in, and I'll get more into that in the styling section. But I wanted to take it literally as well. A siren, entrances sailors with their voice. Keeho's got pipes. He is a siren in his own respect. It's the same aesthetic, style-wise, as Office Siren, but placed in a watery environment, placed in a lake, a lagoon, an ocean, with the juxtaposition of the styling of the very formal business styling, and then you're in the water. What are you doing in there? Now, for the part that's probably the most exciting to me, we have the styling. How would I style Keeho for this Office Siren R&B pop concept? For each member, I picked kind of a heartthrob or a muse that I wanted them to emulate. However, for Keeho, he is someone who is such a sure sense of style that I used him as my jumping off point. And then in terms of designers, because Keeho, he was just a very upscale man. Yeah. I was inspired by Peter Doe, Miu Miu / Prada, and Margiela. I feel like those really encapsulate the vibe that Keeho has and the vibe that I wanted for this album. I have some keywords written down: Office Siren, business attire, nautical, chic, high-waisted pants, collared shirts, sailor collars, loafers, movement. Color palette, we have cream, black, navy, silver, chrome, and pinstripes. When I was scouring Pinterest for the outfit inspo, I was very fixated on stripes and pinstripes. I'm thinking very dapper, very kind of 1940s inspired style. I think the silhouettes of that time look very good on him. I think he looks very good in a high-waisted pair of pants that are nice and billowy and flowy, and a tighter top. Give it to me. Ooh. And for his hair, I would stick to his natural color or just dark colors, which I think suit him so well. On the contrary though, the blonde with the bleached eyebrows is also very chic. Another hairstyle are these kind of finger waves. I just think it's cool. It adds to that movement, it adds to that watery feel. I'm also really liking a newsboy cap or a sailor hat, a little ascot perhaps. This one reference image I have as well. There's a choker, a leather choker, and a leather cap that I think would again suit this concept on Keeho. I think that Keeho again has such a distinct style that I'm really just building off of it rather than completely doing something brand new. That's what the solo album debut was all about, having your own individual style, and I think that this would really showcase that. Next on our list, we have Theo. I am really excited about this one. Let's get into it. Theo's main genres, I chose indie rock and R&B. I made the title track Tiptoe by Hibbs, and I think it's so him. and it has like that dreamy like guitar sound to it, because I also wanted to make sure that he was able to play his instrument. The rock and R&B both allow for the guitar to have her moment. Next up we have She Lives in Paris by Gemini. I feel like he's so underrated and I never hear people talk about him. Next we have Slow Dancing in the Dark by Joji. Next we have Half Moon by Dean. Of course I had to do a Dean song. I could not talk about Theo without doing a Dean song. Lastly, I wanted to throw a bit of a wild card into this album. I wanted to have a little more energy, and I think that Theo could really pull off a cover of Summer Boy by Lady Gaga. Again, another artist that did not make it into the tracklist lineup, but who I do want to mention as an inspiration for the sound of the album, Wave to Earth. Onto the concept for Theo. I'm very proud of this. I was kind of lost on where I wanted to go with this. His style and his looks have done a full 180. He was very much always in pastels, always in cardigans, soft materials, very soft boy. I did want to lean into both sides. I wanted to get the soft and I wanted to get the rocker, soft rocker, if you will. I definitely took a lot of inspiration from, I would say, 70s rockers, and you'll see that in the styling. But for the concept, I will say Harry Styles was a good jumping off point for me, because he has a lot of photo shoots where he's in like this like whimsical, dream-like state, and it's kind of clowncore. I wanted to lean into the whimsy for Theo. I don't really have a name for it besides Sad Clown. I think a really cool concept would be him wearing clown makeup in like everyday scenarios. I feel like having that out of placeness for him. Again, very similar to Keeho's office siren concept, kind of being the odd one out, like not matching your environment. This prize ribbon I think is a cool aesthetic. I also like the silks and like the soft fabrics, the tools. Let's get into the styling where that kind of comes into play. For my heartthrob or my muse, I did have a lot. So I'm also taking from Mick Jagger, additionally taking from Lenny Kravitz and Jimi Hendrix, as well as Prince. Just that kind of chic, rocker, kind of undone, just a little bit vibe. I also have a picture of Camp Rock era Joe Jonas, because I think that was such a good like rock vibe. Here's some keywords: bell bottoms, leather, blazers, pins, chains, belts, sunglasses, tight fit, indie sleeves, Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco had that very, I want to say like cabaret, steampunk adjacent style in their early works, especially in their first album, which leads me into Theo's color palette. Red, black, white, brown, stripes, and florals. And I like the florals. I like that the florals give a very laid back rocker vibe. I like the bell bottom pants and just like the rock fantasy of it all. I think would look really good on him, especially when he's like playing his guitar on stage. Next, we're on to Jiung now. I'm excited about this one. I think it really came out very well and really suits the music, because the music was the easy part. We know that Jiung is a pop princess, so of course I had to make him my pop boy. Now, an obvious sound inspiration for him was Justin Bieber. However, did not make the track list. Angel Baby by Troye Sivan is our title track. This is a song that would suit his voice so well, and I need to hear it. I need to hear a cover of it. We have Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars, Drag Me Down by One Direction. Now we're getting more upbeat, we're getting more hype. I don't know how he can sing a 5-person song like that, but I have faith in him. Overdrive by Conan Gray. I feel like there's so many similarities between Jiung and Conan Gray. And finally, Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. I wanted the concept of Jiung's album to be very nostalgic. I feel like the songs that I chose are very nostalgic of my childhood, adolescence, early teenagehood. I think of like High School Musical. I think of West Coast, which is funny because I had never been to the West Coast when I was a child. I wanted to go for like a summery, fun, free-spirited vibe that I feel like is very emblematic of the West Coast, of California, of Malibu Beach. Just that summer, fun, teenage vibe. I feel like the visuals kind of speak for themselves, that kind of sun-kissed, sunburnt look. Without further ado, let's get into the styling of this concept. I have quite a few heartthrobs for Jiung styling. First and foremost, we have Chad Danforth from High School Musical, aka Corbin Bleu. I just love his vibe so much, especially in High School Musical 2, when they're in Palm Springs, when it's summer. Next, another Chad, we have Chad Michael Murray, very 90s heartthrob. Young Nick Jonas. I was a Jonas Brothers girly, and that is very much reflecting in my boy group preferences. This is a cartoon character, but Jude from 16, just like that skater surfer boy vibe, which is a very good segue into the keywords for this aesthetic. Malibu, Boy Next Door, early 2000s, beachy, summer, sunburn, sun-kissed, jorts, chokers, puka shells, graphic baby tees, ice cream, garage band, skater surfer boy, little top, big bottoms. So there's a lot going on. I feel like it's a lot of words for the pictures that I have on the screen because they're very simple outfits. I really like a cheeky saying on a baby tee, the way that Chad has a lot of them, the very penny tee from iCarly. I'm really liking this yellow and green color combo. This picture of Nick Jonas in the Brazil jersey really got to me. I wanted that Boy Next Door vibe for our local pop star. For his hair, I would keep it natural, either black, a light brown, or like a sandy blonde. Very surfer boy vibes once again. Simple, sun-kissed. A lot of bronzer, a lot of blush, freckles even. So that's it for Jiung. I really need to see him in this concept. I think it's really good for him and his sound and his personality. And he's just that girl. What can I say? Oh, intak. I had fun with this one. I really did. Where do I even start? We're not straying very far from his style. Like I said before, they all have such individual styles. I don't want to take that away from them for their albums. I chose a sound that I feel like intak is found listening to a lot, which is R&B. And I feel like this is a very different R&B than Keeho's R&B. This is a different R&B than Theo's R&B. Our title track is All Right by Victoria Monet. Next, we have Wild Side by Normani featuring Cardi B. This song is so good, like I have nothing else to say. Replay by Zendaya. Literally not even joking. I'm being 100% earnest when I say I need to see Replay by Zendaya on intak's track list. Next, we have Best Time by Brent Faiyaz, and then Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. Onto the concept. Like with Jiung, I was thinking very geographically with intak. I was thinking, where does he fit in geographically? And I think he's a very New York boy. I don't know if that's just my bias. And when I think of New York street style, I think of Timberlands and I think of sports jerseys. I really like the color of Timberlands, the golden orangey yellow color of them. So I wanted to use that color as a jumping off point. And also the athletic jerseys. I wanted to choose like a sport. I came across this picture of Doechii with these punching gloves and I just love it. I love it. So I had to choose boxing. And I really like it. I think we don't often see him in these colors, in these warm colors. He's styled a lot in a lot of blues. I think the red and the yellow and the orange would also look really good on him. And also, in the p1harmony lore, they're just constantly beating his ass. This boy always has blood on his face. He always is beat up. He's always got a bandage on. So let's just lean into that and give them what they want and put him in a boxing ring. And they also did do a boxing ring concept for Doom to Doom, so I think leaning into what they've already done. The material's already there. Might as well build on it. I have 2 heartthrobs for intak. We have Freddie Prinze Jr. Next, we have Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp. Keywords for this concept and style include New York, hip-hop, Timberlands, caps, sunglasses, accessories, layering, preppy elements like ties and polos, boxer, and wrapped hands. He has a concept photo in Sad Song where he is like wrapping his hands, and I thought that was a really cool connection. Color palette, orange, red, yellow, brown, and cream. And for his hairstyling, I would say his natural color. He looks so good with his dark hair, of course, but kind of like curly and messy. You can see in most of the inspiration pictures, they're wearing caps. I think like a baseball cap, a Kangol hat would look really good on him. I really like this picture of the guy with the plaid jacket and the pinstripe pants because I feel like he can really get away with doing simple fits and simple silhouettes, but having interest somewhere else, like in the color and in the texture and in the pattern. Makeup. I have literally in my notes, beat the F up, metal bandage on nose, also sun-kissed, heavy blush / bronzer. So you can see this image right here. He has the metal bandage on his nose, which I think they did that bandage look during, back down era. Next up we have Soul. Soul, once again, is another member who has a very clear sense of self and sense of style, individuality, everything. He's so unique. Sound-wise, I probably struggled the most with Seoul. Initially, I wanted to do very hyperpop. To Honest was like my main inspiration for him. I wanted Jeans to be the title track, but it just wasn't working out. So with the songs that I chose, I decided to go for a more alternative pop route. My title track is Starboy by The Weeknd. We have Viola by Eve. Going into that like kind of hyperpop sound, ever so slightly, Stunner by 10, Rush by Troye Sivan, and lastly, Casio by Jungle. So onto the concept. I was mostly inspired by the Robert Pattinson GQ photo shoot. It was like super popular, I think 2023-ish. That vibe, I feel like is very Soul. It's very odd, very alien, kind of grungy and dark. And with that green blue filter over everything. I'm thinking like not horror movie, but you have to be honest, the Robert Pattinson photo shoot does give like Jigsaw movie a little bit, gives Saw Trap, and I kind of like that vibe. Not to toot my own horn, but I think the style suits Soul very well. In the clothing, I was definitely looking for textures and fabrics and materials that could move well with dancing. I like the idea of having shimmery fabrics or like rhinestoney fabrics on him. I think that would add a lot to the visual interest. On the complete other end of the spectrum, skin tight things with like cutouts and interesting shapes that kind of like show the body, or both. Mesh fabrics that flow and have movement but also show the body at the same time. Keywords: flowy fabric, shimmery, movement, skin tight, cutouts, mesh, Y2K, retro, green blue, twilight filter, headphones, jigsaw trap. For my heartthrobs, we have Robert Pattinson, Evan Mock, specifically in his like grown out buzz cut. I need to see that hairstyle on Soul. I think like the frosted tips, just like leaning into the Y2K of it all, I think would look very good stylistically on Soul. And then Billy Idol. Billy Idol also has like that bleach blonde short hair. He also has like the texture and the loose clothing and the flowy fabrics and the gloves. Soul has like a lot of interesting gloves that he wears, and I think that would translate very well into this style. He's worn a lot of things similar to this in his solo stages, and even when it's been more for a concept, he eats it right up. Yep, he looks good in it. Next, last but certainly not least, Jongseob. Jongseob has such a good sense of style and sense of what looks good on him. And p1harmony's stylists overall just have a great sense of what looks good on Jongseob as well. This is one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it scenarios. The genre, I would categorize it as alternative hip-hop. Our title track is Ring 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 by Tyler, the Creator. Next, I have a song that is not a rap song, not even close to it. I have OK by Wallows, 3005 by Childish Gambino, love Childish Gambino, Heartless by Kanye, Sugar by Brockhampton. Can we say Throwback Thursday? And additional artists that did not make the track list, but obviously it would pull some inspiration from, Travis Scott and Doechii. Jongseob's concept was something I saw very clearly in my head. I took a lot of inspiration from anime, video games, just like cartoon characters in general, especially the gorillas. And with gorillas, I think you think of punk, very much like the British style punk, but you'll see that more in the styling. I have big ideas for Jongseob because it's my best friend, it's my brother. Did you know that? He's my brother. I have a vision for the music video, okay? So you can see here, I have a lot of pictures where like the person is in black and white and then there's like a lot of graphic elements. Walk with me. For the music video, it would be completely multimedia, mixed media, and stop motion. So I kind of envision Jongseob being like this black and white character, kind of having all of these things happening around his environment. I'm gonna go into the styling section now, so I can keep building and tell you about this. You may notice someone on this page is painted red. Well, that's on purpose. There's this guy on TikTok who paints himself red and just like goes out in a field. So he was in fact one of my muses for Jongseob's concept and for his styling. Walk with me. Walk with me. You take my hand again. Walk with me. Thank you. I think Jongseob would look really cool painted one like really bright color as like a part of a photo shoot, part of a music video, what have you. I'm thinking Beast Boy core, like literally just like a normal guy, but he just happens to be bright red. He just happens to be pink, green, blue, whatever color he wants, really. I feel very passionately about this. So kind of similar to Theo painting his face like a clown, I would just want Jongseob to be painted red. Is that weird? I don't care. I've kind of mentioned all of these people already, but in the vein of being organized. So my heartthrobs include Jongseob himself, the red guy on TikTok, Beast Boy, and Hobie Brown from Across the Spider-Verse. Getting into the styling, finally. I'm going to use my keywords, just read them off. Punk, alternative, printed, mixed media, maximalist, anime, video game character, layers, stickers, band-aids, collage. Ooh, I like that I put collage in there. So for the color palette, I'd say neon colors. I really like pink and yellow together for this aesthetic, as well as blue. Styling wise, for t-shirts, I'm definitely thinking graphic tees, having cartoon characters on your shirts, having big cartoony graphics, like the swirl, like big stripes, big chunky, just everything big and two-dimensional and flat to really give into like that flatness that I am envisioning for the concept. We have like some tartan plaid patterns, the layering of the skirts over the pants, like the golfing hats with like the puff on top, really exaggerated color and texture. I think Liberty spikes would be a really cool hairstyle. I just threw in a picture of a guy with teal turquoise hair because I really love Jongseob's hair. But maybe just do like turquoise or teal, because he's never done that before. They stick to like the very warm colors with him, the oranges, the blondes. I think going on the other end of the spectrum would be really fun. Makeup would be very cartoon anime character, having the stickers on the face, rhinestones, gems. It's such a vibe on him. That was my styling p1harmony for their solo album debuts. I hope you enjoyed it. I went to their Newark show and it was so good. Post-concert depression hit real crazy. So I kind of just did this to distract myself and put all of my energy into something productive. I hope you liked it. I love p1harmony.